Home service contractors, are you between $1 and $3 million in top line revenue, but you still feel broke? This is your wake-up call. Most contractors think more revenue equals more profit. They couldn't be further from the truth. This is exactly what I thought for the first 15 years of my career when I scaled 5 service businesses from 0 to 7 figures all within 12 months, chasing top line revenue. In this video, we're going to talk about why revenue lies, the 5 metrics that you must track in order to increase the profits in your business, and what profitable businesses do differently than unprofitable businesses. I exited my last service business at a 43% seller's discretionary earnings, which is the business profit plus adding back the owner's compensation. That was 43%, and I wasn't involved with the day-to-day. If you want access to my free course on exactly how I did that, it's literally 6 hours of free content for home service businesses. Comment below the word free, and I'll personally send you a link, an invite to my free community with the 6 hours of content to build your home service business profitably. So if this sounds like you and you're between $1 and $3 million in revenue, but you still feel broke, but you got crews out, going out every day, you got book jobs, you got equipment loans you got to pay for, you have vendors that are chasing you, you have your customers that you're chasing for money. I was in this exact position too. The question is, why do home service companies between $1 and $3 million in revenue feel like they've hit this ceiling and they can't break through? They're not sure if they should hire more employees, or there's not enough money to hire more employees, and maybe they're not taking enough money. Maybe they're not charging enough for their services. You're at this point where you're wearing all the hats in the business. Well, that's exactly what these 5 metrics are going to track. So we're going to track the financial metrics that actually matter. And number 1, gross profit margin. This is not your typical gross profit. We're going to account for this in a little bit of a different way than what's been taught. Hear me out. Gross profit margin is your top line revenue minus the direct cost to perform the service that you provide, not including the direct labor. That is the key here. You're going to remove the direct labor, and you're only going to subtract the direct cost. So for basically job materials and any other direct cost that it takes, and this is not your overhead, this is direct cost. So top line revenue minus your direct cost. That's going to be what's called your gross margin. You want this number to be somewhere between 60 and 75% of top line revenue. And why don't we include direct labor like you've been taught all these years? Well, because we're going to utilize that labor number to generate the next metric that you must follow, which is called labor efficiency ratio. What this metric tells you is that if you are running efficiently, if your employees are operating at an efficient pace, it tells you if you are capable of hiring more people, or if you're financially ready to hire more people. It tells you if your people are not running efficiently. And the way you calculate this is you take that gross profit margin number that we just got, and you're going to divide it by the total payroll for your entire business. That includes the payroll you pay yourself, all the other employees in your business, including the employees that are out in the field, direct labor and administrative, and any management labor. So total labor. So you're going to take gross profit margin divided by total labor. This should be number 2. It should come out to 2. So you want $2 for every dollar that you spend on total payroll. You want $2 in gross margin. And where did I come up with this number? I didn't just pull it out of my ass. This is a number that I've been tracking since 2018. I learned it from Greg Crabtree. He wrote the book Simple Numbers. Highly recommend that you read that book. This is a must read. If we work together, I 100% require that you read this book. This is finance basics for home service businesses, for contractors specifically. This book really helped change my perspective on all the proper KPIs that you need to track. Next, we're going to talk about net profit. This one is huge, right? So if you're in business to make a profit, which I hope you are, this number has to be accurate. And this is not just the number on the bottom line of your P&L, right? So if you talk with your accountant or your bookkeeper on a monthly basis and they issue your P&L and you look at that bottom line number and you think, yeah, that's where my net profit. I could almost guarantee you 9 out of 10 times that's not going to be accurate. Why? Because number 1, you're probably not paying yourself the correct rate. And number 2, that number is probably not accurate because you're running personal expenses through the business. This is something that you must stop right away. This is not a way to operate a business. And if you want to grow a business for value purposes, this must stop immediately. 2 reasons why that net profit is not accurate. So we need to recast that P&L and come to a proper net profit. And what is that target? You want that target in a home service business to be somewhere between 15 and 25%. Anything above that is massive. Anything below 15%, you start to get in the danger zone. If you're below 10%, forget about it. If you're in the home service business and you're operating below 10%, you might as well not even show up, because what is the point? God forbid something happens. You need to fix equipment. You need to buy equipment. You need to pay your taxes. You need to hire new employees. You need to buy a new location. You need to put money down for an additional location. Whatever the case may be, you're not going to have any oxygen left if you're operating less than 10% net profit. So we want to make sure that you have a healthy net profit, which is between 15 and 25%. The next metric that we're going to follow is how much cash reserves do you have in the bank? Okay, this is something that you must track. I didn't track this for 15 years. Yeah, I would look at my bank account and say, feels good. I got a decent amount of money there, but like, what is a decent amount? What is the right amount? Well, I also got this from Greg Crabtree's book. He's looked at thousands of home service companies and all types of businesses. And what he's found is that if you have 2 months of operating expenses stashed away in a savings account, you are a healthy, fully capitalized business. This is going to be really hard to kill that business. If you have 2 months of operating expenses, that means you could carry that business without taking in any income for the next 2 months and you will survive. 2 months is the target. And where do you get that number? You get it off your P&L. Look at your total expenses. Now, this is going to include all the payroll and it's going to include all your overhead costs. You want to take 2 months of that. So you add it all up for the year and you come up with, divide it by 12 and you multiply that by 2. That's how you come up with 2 months of operating expenses. That's the target. Last metric that we're going to keep a really close eye on is your debt to revenue ratio. How much debt do you have on the business? And is it good debt or bad debt? You want good debt. Good debt is if you're taking an equipment loan or if you're taking a loan to maybe try a new marketing campaign that's going to get an ROI, okay, that's fine. That's good debt. If you're taking debt to pay payroll or pay your overhead, you pay your rent, that's bad debt. We don't want to take bad debt. You want zero bad debt. You don't want to be tapping into your line of credit because you're not collecting on your invoices efficiently, right? So we want to dial in those processes. We want to make it so there's no money on a line of credit. You have no outstanding credit card. Yeah, if you want to put expenses on your credit card, great. You should do that, but pay it off by the end of the month. And if you can't, well, there's a problem there. Does that mean maybe you're not charging enough? Maybe you're not collecting fast enough. We have to figure out what that problem is, but you should not be carrying debt on a credit card for months and months and months and paying that interest. We want to keep an eye on that. That's a metric that we want to track. If this is making sense to you and you run a home service business and you want to get more content like this, comment below free. I'm going to send you a personal link to my free course. It's 6+ hours of content on how to properly dial in all your numbers for your business. And once those are dialed in, how do you scale the business from there? Just like I did, I went from 0 to 4 million in 3 years. I exited by the end of 3 years at a 5 times multiple. And at that point, we were at 1.6 million in profit, which was a 43% seller's discretionary earnings, unheard of in the home service business. Now I want to help other contractors do the same exact thing. Most contractors between 1 and 3 million don't have a revenue problem. They have a margin or cash or structure problem. So if this is you and you got value out of this video, don't forget to subscribe below and follow this channel for more content. I'm going to be pumping out tons of content every single week, and I look forward to working with you guys. And if you go into my Skool community, send me a comment. I'd love to hear your story.